I was 100% convinced if I did not do something about my own health that I would
Mm.
end up.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Information to Transformation series, where I interview people who have used the tool of weight loss surgery to create radical transformation in their lives. My guest today is Tanya. Tanya had a weight loss surgical procedure in May of 2019, and she has totally transformed all aspects of her life. And she looks so bright, brilliant, beautiful, and radiant. So, thank you so much, Tanya, for coming on the show and for agreeing to share your journey with us, hopefully, to touch some more lives.
Not a problem at all. I'm looking forward to it.
Lovely. So, Tanya, may I begin by asking you that could you share with us how was that older version of yourself prior to 2019? What were your challenges and how were you coping with this issue around weight gain, weight loss? I know we had conversations previously that this yo-yo dieting and going from one diet to the other or a medication. What was that period looking like? Share with us a little bit.
Okay, so basically, I had probably about maybe 2 years prior, I had actually using Duramine, not ideal, but using Duramine, I had lost 30 kilos. Then I made a big move
Which is
from
basically just for the purpose of listeners, Duramine is an appetite suppressing pill and
correct.
it has got significant side effect and makes you upset, right?
Correct. It not do well for my emotions. My husband didn't like me very much during that period of time. Um, I think it just heightens everything about your emotions. So it
Yeah.
wasn't good, but I did lose 30 kilos. But when I moved from Queensland to Victoria, because my husband's in the RAF, we had a big change, and moving to different climate and all of that type of thing kind of meant that my eating habits were not the best, and I basically put it all straight back on,
Mm.
uh, and in fact put more on, and ended up at about 128 kilos. So from that point, I tried doing things like park run and things, but I couldn't really walk more than 5 kilometers at a time. Everything hurt. So I was just sore all the time. My knees, my hips, my back, everything just hurt all the time. And essentially what happened from there was I just had enough. And my mum had had a gastric band, which I knew I didn't want,
Mm.
only because she had had a few things happen with her gastric band that I wasn't very
And I hear
keen.
that very often, Tanya. I hear that very often. Like, people have relatives or friends who have had a gastric band, and that's just put them off the gastric band. Was that your experience as well?
Yeah, so my mum definitely lost the weight. It definitely
Hmm.
worked for her as a weight loss tool.
Yeah.
Um, but in terms of her lifestyle, that's not what I wanted for myself. So she couldn't eat certain foods because it would get stuck, or
Hmm.
she would have to go to the bathroom after a meal and regurgitate because it was getting stuck and things. And it just really disrupted her life quite considerably.
Hmm.
So I was looking for an alternative to that. And that's what landed me to getting a sleeve
Right,
done.
right. So tell us about, was it a difficult decision? Like, clearly decision for surgery is never easy. There is risk involved, there is pain. You don't know what your journey is going to be like and whether there'll be any complications. So must have been like a bit of a challenge coming up to making that decision, right?
It definitely was. And my husband was actually not for it.
Right.
Um, very concerned that my life would become my mum's life, and he didn't want me to be
Yeah.
doing either. And he was concerned that we wouldn't be able to go out for dinner and enjoy the things that we were currently enjoying. Um,
Mm.
so he was concerned. So he was not overly supportive at the start. Um,
So how did you convince him?
I, I, I didn't
You
really.
just put your foot down,
Yeah,
right?
I just had gotten to a point where I couldn't do it anymore, and I
Yeah.
knew if I didn't make a change, um, I was going down the route of diabetes and things. That's in my family history. Um,
Mm.
all of that type of thing. So I really just came to a point where I just couldn't take it anymore. So although the decision was difficult and I did do a lot of research, I was concerned. My grandmother had esophageal cancer, so I was very mindful of the reflux possibility and things like that. But after discussing it with you, we kind of worked through that, and I haven't had any issues at all. So yeah, it was a big decision, but I think you kind of get to a point where you just know that you're not going to be able to do it yourself, and you need that tool to be able to help you on that journey.
Yeah, and I often say, the pain of staying where you are overtakes the pain of making that change,
Definitely,
So
100%.
that is what you don't want to be in pain anymore.
Yep,
And that is what it pushes you. One of my mentors says that pain pushes until the vision pulls.
very
So
so.
that's kind of, so tell me a little bit. One thing that I hear often, Tanya, is that people are really locked into this idea that my family history is I've got diabetes with in my mom and dad's side. I hear this time and time again. I'm overweight because my mom and dad were overweight. I smoke because my dad used to smoke or my mom used to smoke. How strong does that have a grip on your thinking, or how strong was your thinking influenced by that belief that because my mom has diabetes, I'll have diabetes too unless I do something about it?
Correct. Yeah. So yeah, it's definitely a strong family history there. So I was 100% convinced if I did not do something about my own health that I would
Mm,
end up very unwell. So and I also didn't want my children to see that it was acceptable to continue eating and behaving the way I was as well either. So
yeah.
I wanted to lead by example and show them a new way of doing things.
And I think that is so self-empowering for your kids as well. Like for everybody who's listening to this, is that, self-empowerment is knowing that you have the ability to change your destiny.
Mm.
You have the ability to do that, which is a very difficult concept for us to accept, because we just think we've been born a certain way and we'll die a certain way, which is limited thinking. Now, talking about sleeve and reflux, because that is something that comes up time and time again. You are not having any symptoms of reflux, do I understand this correct?
Correct. So there are, it might happen occasionally where I've maybe eaten something that's like bubbly or something like that. Like
Yes.
I don't mind sparkling water. Like I actually quite enjoy it. But if I drink too much of it, I will get a little bit of like a heartburn sensation, and I just know that that's
That's
enough.
it.
Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
but it's not a constant thing for me at all, and I
Yeah.
can kind of know that if I drink that, I'm probably going to have a little bit, but I try to just limit it.
Yeah. And what about portion? If you increase a certain amount or eat a little bit more than what you're comfortable with, I'm sure you would experience that reflux
Yeah,
sensation as well.
it's not like reflux, but it's kind of like a little bit of a pain sitting kind of,
Yeah. It
okay,
lets you know. The
I'm,
sleep lets you
yeah,
know.
yeah, it does.
No, that's so true. So tell me, Tanya, besides getting the sleeve, what other things did you incorporate in your routine, in your lifestyle, which has helped you now? Like it's 3 years now,
Hmm.
almost, that you've had your surgery, and like I believe you are now sitting somewhere about 74, 75, a big drop from 128 kilos,
Correct.
which is where the old Tanya was.
Yeah, and I've been consistently there for at least 2 years now. So
Wow.
I've
Wow.
literally fluctuated from that
Because,
point.
I often say that it's not weight loss that is so much of an issue, it's weight maintenance. So
Yeah.
I'm keen to hear you about what are your particular strategies or tips that you might have for our audience.
Okay, so my biggest one was one from you actually, which is mindful eating, making sure that you're focusing on what you're eating and how you feel while you're eating, and making sure
Mm,
you don't overindulge. Also, mindful eating in the sense that making sure that you're not eating things that are necessary. Like, I don't believe in bad foods or good foods. I think it's everything is in moderation and balance. But
yes.
sure that if you've had a big weekend because you've been to a wedding or a function, just being very mindful in that following week or the week prior to knowing that you're having an event, that you're just going to be a bit more, not strict, but you're going to be a bit more mindful of what you're week. The other one is you have to find something that you love doing that gets your body moving. So I go to gym every morning, 6 days a week at 6:30. It's my routine. It's consistency. That's another huge thing. But if you find something you love doing, that's not a chore. So whether it is going for a walk with your dog, or whether it's going to gym and doing a weight session, or it's cardio, swimming, or it's playing netball, or whatever, you just find that one thing that you love to do and body moving, and you do it consistently. I think that is probably the two biggest things that help me on my consistency, keeping my weight where it is.
So can I ask, just out of interest, say, what kind of bad foods, I'm not talking about good foods, I'm talking about what kind of bad foods do you sometimes allow yourself to indulge in, and how do you make up for that?
So I have a bit of a Saturday morning routine, which is, so I'm lucky. I'm a person that doesn't mind eating the same thing nearly every single day. So I have very much salad and protein every day for lunch during the work week, and have a very similar breakfast each morning, which is a little bit of carbohydrates because I've been at gym. So I need to kind of fuel my body a little with a protein shake or something like that. So I'm throughout the week, it's very easy for me to remain consistent because I work full time. But on Saturday morning, I get up, I go to gym, and then straight after gym, I go and get a chai latte and a pastry.
Wow, good on you.
So, and then, like, I am probably a little bit more flexible on my weekends if we want to go out to dinner and things like that. Actually enjoy food more than I did before surgery, because before surgery, I just ate for the sake of eating. I didn't really think about what I was eating. I just ate because I wanted to just keep feeding this giant machine that I'd become, that was just making me feel better by eating bad foods. Whereas now I'm very mindful of what I eat. So I want to eat something that I enjoy, because I can't eat as much of it still. Even 3 years out, I can still only eat a standard, like I call it a normal portion now. Once upon a time,
it's the new normal.
But it is my normal portion, and it's probably what most people should consider normal rather than food.
Giant portions,
So I just am very aware of what I want to eat rather than eating for the sake of it.
That's so true. And I think this is what I hear very consistently, that, quality of the food becomes more important than quantity of the food. You want to enjoy it, but I think we are all allowed some cheat foods, once in a while. I honestly confess, I haven't had surgery, but I still love a dark chocolate. I like to have a banana bread when I have a coffee on the weekends. That's my weekend thing, not on the weekdays. But I think here's one thing which I hear very consistently, Tanya, and I don't know whether you feel the same. It is really critical not to use food to soothe your emotions. Emotional needs cannot be fed or cannot be healed by food.
No, because it might make you feel good for about 5 minutes, and then you feel awful afterwards anyway.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And I hear that you are a bit of a gym person, you're very structured, very regimented. How do you handle your obsession with protein? Because when I talk to younger women, they are like, protein, protein, protein all the time. Protein water, protein shake, protein this. And too much protein is actually not good for you.
No.
So I hear that you've got a very balanced approach. So tell me, what do you do that? How do you do that?
Yeah, so I do have protein after gym. I do have a protein shake or something to help my muscles repair, because I do a lot of weight training. But I did go through that little stint of protein water. Every single thing had to be protein. But now I just very much have balanced food.
Good.
So, I have protein after gym, obviously, for muscle repair and things like that. But I always have a protein source, whether it's just a boiled egg with chicken, or sometimes I have steak. But I am also a big meal prepper, so I will prep for the whole week.
Oh,
I think spending I'm very, very busy. I have 3 children, as well as working full time, as well as doing my gym and everything. So I need to be very prepared. So
really?
uh,
Yeah.
I spend probably about 3 hours on a Sunday doing the grocery shop and the meal prep, and I feel like that saves me so much time through the week. So
Oh,
yeah, just
you
definitely make
know,
sure it's balanced rather than, yes, I did go through that crazy protein
yeah.
phase.
Well, Tanya, what you're saying is like music to my ears because I've kind of spent majority of the last 10 years in trying to say to people, the body needs balance. Just like there is balance in nature, your body needs proteins, good healthy carbohydrates, and healthy fats. If
Yes.
there is imbalance in the body, you're going to have disease. But I see so many younger women, especially coming and they're saying, no, 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 I need my protein, So that what you're saying is music to my ears. And I
Don't
think,
go through that stage, but you learn very quickly that doesn't
yeah,
feel very good either, all that protein. So
that's so true. And I love your concept of meal prepping. Again, something that I've been talking about so many times, because if you're not planned about your meals, you're just going to go in a reactionary way to things,
I
you'll
grab
quickly grab on the go kind of a thing.
Yeah, definitely. And like, if I give one piece of advice to anybody, it's because
Please.
it says to me is, how do you fit this all in? I don't have time for gym, or I don't have time to milk. If you get up even 10 minutes earlier each morning, it will change your life.
Oh.
You won't feel like you are rushed. You
Mm.
have time to prep your lunch if you haven't done it on the Sunday. You'll have time to organize your snacks and things like that, so you don't go and grab that chocolate biscuit. You've got an alternative. But it's all about even 10 minutes earlier in the morning, and you'll
Yes.
really change your life.
Oh, totally, and I think that is such a powerful advice. Tanya, I think this conversation could go on for a very long time because you're dropping such pearls from practical wisdom. You have lived the journey, you've walked the hard road, and what you're sharing now is like drops of wisdom. But look, can I say, in the interest of time, how can people connect with you? How can they find you if they want to reach out for just some personal advice or just a bit more of motivation?
Yeah, of course. So I'm in the Centre for Weight Loss Facebook group. So anybody can tag me,
Awesome.
Tanya Lowe. And I don't mind if anybody wants to add me on Facebook at all. I'm very open about it. If
Awesome.
anybody ever asks me what I've done, I always say it's been weight loss surgery. I've when they ask me how I've lost my weight and things like that, I think
You
it's
don't
something.
feel embarrassed about saying that you've had weight loss surgery because some people
No,
think, oh, it's the easy way out. It was a cop
no,
out kind of a thing.
I know, and I have never had anybody say that to my face, to be fair. So maybe that's why. But I'm actually proud that I took that step for myself,
Yeah.
that it is the right step for a lot of people who are
Mm.
stuck in this rut of where they can't, just jump over that hurdle to get in. I understand why really overweight people don't want to go to gym or don't want to walk and don't want to exercise, because that was me, because
Yeah.
painful. It was too sore. Everything hurt. So getting
Correct.
that off gives you the opportunity to then get into this lifestyle that keeps you healthy long term. So
Exactly.
I think there's a lot of people that need this surgery that they think that it's the easy way out. In reality, it's not.
Mm.
It's definitely not. It is hard at the beginning, but some people just need that little
Yeah.
kickstart to their journey.
It's a tool at the end of the day, and you can't blame the tool. Like just like going from Melbourne to Sydney, you can go. I often give this analogy. You can either take the flight, which is the shortest way, or you can go by car, which will take you 10 hours probably. But
Yes,
doesn't mean that taking a flight is a cop out. It's a tool, you know. You
correct,
decide what works for you.
correct.
So I think that's
Yeah.
what I have to say. Tanya, it's been a delight speaking to you. I wish you so much success and may you continue to inspire a lot of people and more importantly, your own family, your beautiful kids, because
Yes.
I think it is, I'm sure this has happened to you as well, that it gives a new meaning to the whole relationship with your husband and your kids because they're just like looking at you and saying, oh my God, look at mama. She is
Yep.
so inspirational now.
They come and do workouts with me. We go on hikes on the weekend. Our life has become
Wow.
very different because I'm no longer morbidly obese. So
Yeah, you
it's
just got so much energy now. And you're
correct.
radiating energy. I can tell just by talking to you, you know.
Yes.
So,
And no coffee either.
yeah, that's so good, you know. Awesome, Tanya. Look, thank you so much for your time. Wish
Thank
you
you.
all the very best in wherever you are, whatever you're doing. I can't hold myself asking you what sort of work are you doing? I can see lots of logos on your.
Oh, yes. I work in a vet clinic. So I'm a clinic coordinator. So I basically,
Oh, beautiful,
yeah.
beautiful. Awesome, awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much,
Thank
Tanya.
you.
Stay well, keep smiling, and keep inspiring.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.